Hey everybody, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board on the Floor. Today what I want to do is take a look at the game Sub Terra. It's a underground spelunking game, horror themed, cooperative, 1 to 6 players. Similar to the movie The Descent, if you've ever seen that. And if you haven't, you should probably check out a video store called The Lobby if you live in Edmonton.
Because I'm sure they would have that movie and many others.
If you ever thought, wow, I really want to know what it's like to be chased by monsters while I'm stuck underground with a few of my friends, this is the game for you. What I wanted to do today was actually take a look at the rules and then go through a full solo play. You actually have to play 4 characters for solo. So even if you're playing with 2 players, they suggest you play 2 characters each. And it's only when you get to 3 players that you could do 3, which seems odd, but those are the rules. I have mostly everything set up right now for the game, but I wanted to point out a few things in regards to the tiles and the cards. I'm going to be playing in normal mode. So they say you get 22 of the hazard cards set up, shuffled. And then of course you have your out of time card that goes right at the bottom of the deck. And all that means is when you reach this in the deck, you're at that point of the game when your flashlight has broken, and in order to perform actions moving forward, you have to roll the die and actually get a success, or you'll be eaten by horrors, and that's the end of that. So we have our deck set up, we have our starting tile, and we have our exit tile. But the way it works with the exit tile is you actually have to shuffle it into the last 5 tiles in your stack. So I got 5 tiles here. I'm gonna put the exit tile at the bottom, shuffle them, and then I'm gonna place them at the bottom of our tile stack. It's not an unruly tile stack, but it is kind of a tall tile stack. I've knocked it over quite a few times, and I may knock it over today. Fingers crossed that I don't. One thing that's kind of cool about Sub Terra is a lot of the components are glow in the dark. So the die glows in the dark, and on some of the map tiles, there's some glow in the dark graphics that you can only see when you turn the lights off. This game is actually on loan to me from Sébastien at La Soirée de Guy. And he picked it up off of his buddy who got every single expansion for it. So you'll notice I have kind of upgraded tokens and also the minis. The game itself comes with cardboard tokens and little wooden meeples for the characters. So there are a few upgrades you're going to see today. And even though he has all the expansions, I'm just going to play with the base game today. So we have our starter tile set up. We have our 4 player mats with our 4 minis. The game comes with 8 different characters that you could play, and each character has different abilities. Over here, we have our bodyguard. You'll notice he has 5 health tokens when everybody else has 3. He also can protect people if you're on the same tile as him. Our leader is able to help other people do actions, and she also gets an extra point when she rolls a die. Our medic heals people. He also has the ability to sprint, which means he gets 2 moves. Scout is a pathfinder, and if she flips a map tile that she doesn't like, she's able to switch it out up to 3 times. She's also stealthy, so she's able to hide from horrors anytime they pop up. These are the 4 characters I've selected for my solo play. I've gone through a few games with them, and I find that they work well together. So that's something you may want to do as well. Look at all the characters and see the ones that you think might kind of complement each other. So if you want, take a quick look at these minis as I put them out on the map tiles. They also have colored bases to help differentiate them. And over here, I also have some helper cards. So as we work our way through the game, we could take a look at those in case we get a bit confused. The rules for Sub Terra are pretty straightforward. There's 4 phases for every round. You have your action phase, your horror phase, your hazard phase, and then the end phase. Our action phase is when our characters get to perform their actions. Each character is given 2 points, and certain actions cost 1, certain actions cost 2. There's even the option to exert yourself, though you have to roll the die and get a success in order for that to happen. And if you get a failure, then you'll lose a health point. So that's only good for emergencies. Some of the actions you could take are just explore, reveal, move, heal, swim, typical things that one would do while spelunking or while they spelunk. I don't know if that's an actual verb. After our action phase, we have our horror phase. The horror phase will only happen if there are actual horrors in play. What this means is that the horrors will move 1 map tile closer to our cavers, and if it's on the same tile, well, that means our caver will now become exhausted. It loses all of its health points, and they will be turned on their side like this. An exhausted caver is not dead, but it cannot perform any actions unless another caver comes to the same tile and heals them. So allowing your caver to be exhausted is not a good idea. After we have our hazards phase, and that's when we flip a card and we reveal whether or not there was a flood, a cave-in, gas pocket all of a sudden appeared, or something that's gonna hurt our cavers. Most hazards actually only affect you during that round, but the gas hazard actually has a lingering effect until the next hazard phase. So if you move on to a tile that has a gas pocket, you'll be injured. The end phase is mostly for multiplayer where you just switch over the first player token to the next person clockwise. But in solo play, I don't really do that, and I'm not going to do that today, though I guess you could if you wanted to. I also want to talk about some of the other things I have on the table just to let you know exactly what they are. These are rope tokens. On certain tiles like ledges and slides, you need to use a rope sometimes to travel back one way or on a ledge both ways. This is the gas reminder token, so that if you actually flip a gas hazard card, put it close by so it reminds you that if you travel into a gas tile, that you'll still be injured. This is the horrors token. It's just there to place on the deck to remind you that there will be a horror phase now that there's horrors in play. These are your 3 horrors. You can only have a max of 3 horrors in the game at a time.
Maximum horrors.
And over here, we just have some hazard tokens, and that's pretty much all we need to get this game going. There are 2 ways to see a map tile in Sub Terra, and that is to either explore or reveal. The difference between the two is that if you reveal it, you don't have to move on to it. But if you explore it, you have to move on to it. So you do get to take kind of 2 actions in one, but there's dangers involved since you don't see where you're moving. But to take a chance, let's explore with our first move. So our first map tile, it's got a cave in, but this will only affect us during the hazard phase. We'll roll a die and we'll see what number it is, and maybe if we get a 1 or a 4, this area will now have a cave in. Since we did explore, that means when we reveal the tile, we have to automatically move on to it, even if it's a hazard. But for my next move, I am going to just reveal it. So this tile has a horror, but once again, it's only activated during the hazard phase. And you get to place tile however you choose. You know what? What I'm going to do is actually just use this token to remind us whose turn it is. So we went from our bodyguard, we're now on to scout, and she is going to move in a different direction, but do the same thing. So explore 1. She happened to explore a dead end, so there's nothing much she can do right now. She'll move into it, and if I want to spend my other point, I could just move her back to the main tile, which is what I'm going to do. So for next turn, she could just head out from there. Leader's turn, she is going to go in a different direction and explore. So here we have a tile that has the potential to be flooded, and I'll put it down here. Since she explored, we move her as well, and she has 1 more turn, so she will reveal a tile, another potential cave-in, and finally our medic. One thing in Sub Terra is you don't want to explore too far off from your team because it might be hard to get back to them, especially if you discover that the exit is on the complete opposite side from where you are. But to start off, I am going to go in a few different directions. Another possible flood tile, and I'm going to explore it and reveal 1 more. And that's the end of our first action phase. I made all of my characters explore and reveal because nothing else to do right now. Next comes our horror phase, and because we don't have any horrors on the table, we just move on to our hazard phase. So we're going to flip our first hazard card and see what we get. It is a horror. We have 2 horror tiles out, and what that means is that the horror should appear next to the closest caver, but they're both 1 away, so we choose which we're going to do, and I'm going to put it over here. Now, something that's interesting about our bodyguard is that he has the repel ability. He's the only player that is able to remove horrors from the game. Because he is 1 away from it, in the next round, he could actually spend 1 of his action points and get rid of it. We've reached the end phase, so we're just going to go back to the beginning and start over with our actions. Now that it's the bodyguard's turn again, I'm going to use the repel ability to get rid of this horror. And with 1 more point, I'm going to explore over here. Another cave-in. Next is scout. Gotta remember to do that. Not much she can do other than follow along the same path as, let's go with the medic. So she's going to move, which means 2 tiles, 1, 2. And then she's just going to reveal. A lot of cave-ins. Our leader is going to keep going in that direction. So move 1 and then reveal this tile. So this is a squeeze. Squeeze tile costs 2 action points to get through. I'll put it down here. Now into our medic. He's just going to move 1, 2 and then reveal. And we have our first rough terrain. He didn't explore, so he's not moving onto it. But whenever there's rough terrain, what that means is you actually have to roll a die as soon as you land on it to see if you're going to be injured or not. And that's that for our action phase. No horror, onto a hazard phase. We're going to flip our next card. And it is a gas card. There are no gas tiles in play right now, so it doesn't really affect us. Let's go back to our players. Explore. And then reveal. Scout. If she moves on to this rough terrain, I'm gonna have to do my first roll to see if I get a success or a fail and if she's gonna get damaged. So let's try that. We're gonna move, and then we gotta roll our die. 4 or more is a success. So she moves here and she actually doesn't get injured, which is great. And now I'm going to explore with her, and of course another dead end that she has to move to. Leader, we're gonna explore here. Nice. And reveal the next tile. Okay, so this is our first ledge. With this tile, what it means is if we actually want to move past it, we have to do a skill check to be able to place a rope there. So in the next turn, our lead is probably going to have to do that if she wants to keep moving in this direction. Onto the medic. My medic's going to follow Scout, and so he's going to have to do a skill check here. He failed, so what that means, he's going to lose 1 health on this rough terrain. Move it over here for now. But he has 1 more turn left, so he's going to reveal this tile. Ooh, it's a gas pocket. If he would have explored it and landed on it on this turn, because the gas hazard card was revealed last round, this tile can still cause damage now. And next we have no horror, another hazard phase. Now moving forward, if we flip a different card other than gas, this tile will no longer hurt us. Hopefully we do. It's a cave-in. With a cave-in, what you actually do is you have to roll the die. And you see all of the cave-in tiles that have that number are where you actually place your rubble. Here and here. Now you can no longer enter those tiles, but you can spend 2 action points to dig your way out of a cave-in. If you were on that tile, you would get 3 damage. Move, and then we're going to explore. Because I explored a squeeze tile, the way to get out of it next round is to actually spend 2 action points. Scout's going to move here and then reveal a next tile. Let's connect it this way. Now our map is starting to move a bit off of the area I have available. I just shifted the map tiles over. In games like this, sometimes you can really go and spread out on your table. Hopefully we're going to contain it in this area and it'll stay within the frame of the camera above. So next we have, now that we're back to leader, she could actually perform her skill check to see if she could get a rope there. And she didn't. Though she does have an experienced ability, which would add 1, it's still a 2, so it's a fail. So she's stuck. Onto her medic. He's going to explore down this way. And next he's just going to reveal. Now sometimes you could get a map tile and position it in a way that actually creates a dead end from the other direction. That's totally fine, it just means there would be a wall there. So I'm going to make this come downwards so that we can keep our map going in this direction here. We move on straight to our hazard card. Another cave-in. 3. If I miss anything, just let me know in the comments below. It's kind of bound to happen. And now we're going to move back to bodyguard. So he has to actually use both of his actions to get out of this. I'm not too sure when you explore and a squeeze tile is revealed if you move on to it immediately, because in the next round all that happens is you end up having to move off of it. You can't move forward because you won't be able to explore and squeeze through it. So I'm just going to move back to this tile for now. This guy's going to move, and then let's explore. Ooh. I have to roll right away to see if I'm going to get hurt. 3, I did. Now for the leader, I'm not going to move forward, I'm going to move back though. This is a squeeze as well. So maybe I'll just have her try and go back with the rest of the team. So let's roll and see if we can make a rope appear. It's 1 again. She's not doing too well. Even though we could add to those rolls, it's not enough to make that rope appear. So that was a waste of a try. And our medic will move here and then explore and reveal. Onto our hazard. And now we have a flood. All of the map tiles with the flooded symbol are now flooded. Because our bodyguard was on a flooded tile, while it becomes flooded, he's actually going to end up losing 1 health point. To get off this tile now, he has to swim out, which is going to cost 2 action points. At this point, our bodyguard is pretty far away from the rest of the team, so I'm going to try and start moving him back towards everybody else, though he has a lot of hazards in his way. The first thing he's going to have to do is spend 2 action points to swim out of this, to get there. Soon he's actually going to have to dig out this tile, and then he's going to have to swim through here, possibly find a rope in this area, or dig out this cave-in. And for now, let's move on to Scout. And she's going to explore. Let's just go down this way. And explore again. Ooh, gas pocket. Leader is going to try one more time for this rope. Yes. So now that there is a rope tile here, and now in the next move, she'll be able to move through there, and any other person can move freely through this tile now. Medic's going to go in this direction. So let's explore. And let's explore. Ooh, gas pocket. Our first tremor, all that means is that every character has to roll the die, and if they don't have a success on the skill test, they're going to lose 1 health point. So we'll start with our bodyguard. 3, that's a fail. Scout, 4, that's a pass. Leader, 4 plus her 1, that's a pass. And medic, 2, that's a fail. So our medic's down to 1 health point, so on the next turn, he should probably heal. Bodyguard's going to dig out that cave-in. So that's going to cost us 2 action points. Scout is going to explore. And it's a dead end. And then she's just going to move back. 1, 2. So our leader's just going to move to catch up. 1, 2. And then another 2. And now our medic, to heal, it just costs 2 action points. So we're going to do that. And now onto another hazard card. Gas. Oh, our medic's going to lose 2 health points and he's going to become exhausted. That means someone has to go find him and heal him. Now all of the gas, we'll put this here to remind us, all of the gas tiles are dangerous up until the next hazard round. So move back to the beginning. Our bodyguard, he's going to move here. And that's pretty much all he can do because digging, or you know what? Let's take a chance and we're going to exert ourselves. See if we get a success. And we don't. So he loses an energy and he's stuck there for now. Scout. No, Scout's going to keep moving. Oh, anyway, Scout has to move here. And then reveal. A squeeze, my gosh. And then leader's going to move here. And also reveal in the next round. We'll heal. Ooh, rough terrain. Medic is exhausted, so he can't do anything. To our next hazard round. Ooh, I didn't realize I moved the leader onto a gas. That means she's going to lose 2 health points. But it's okay, because the medic can heal her as well. So let's take 2 off of her. Fingers crossed we don't reveal another gas card. It's a tremor. It's not like it's that much better. Bodyguard gets a success. Scout gets a success. Leader does not. Leader is exhausted. I'm taking too many chances. And medic, he's already out, so it doesn't really matter. All right, let's head back to the bodyguard. He's going to dig. Then we'll go to Scout. And she's going to move here. Now I could exert her and try to heal the doctor, but I think that would probably be bad if she does injure herself. Or should I take a chance? It's risky. Let's take the chance. Yes. Got a 4, so it worked. She exerted herself, which gave her another action point. So now she was able to heal the doctor. So the doctor has 1 health. And we could just skip leader and go to the medic, and he could heal with 1 action point. Actually, he could heal her twice. So now leader's back, medic's there. They're on a gas tile. As long as we don't flip the gas hazard card, I think we could survive. And it's a horror. Our closest horror, here's one, here's one. There's more characters here, so we're gonna move it over here. This is pretty bad because our bodyguard is the only one who could actually remove horrors from the table. And if a horror gets onto the same tile as one of our players, they become exhausted. And they are pretty close. So we have to kind of run away. Though we're stuck on one of these rough terrain tiles. Let's see how we do. Bodyguard's gonna move first. 1, 2. I'm gonna exert the bodyguard and see if I could swim through the next tile. Yes. 5. So that means then I'll go this way. In the next turn, he'll be able to get to this area faster. Next scout. She'll move on to the rough terrain. Oh. But she can explore further away. It's a ledge. She'll move on to that. Next will be our leader. Thankfully. And let's explore this way. Dead end with a horror. That's no good. And now our medic. Move. He's exhausted again. I guess that's good, so the horror can't exhaust him. She'll have to move back in the next one onto that rough terrain, which isn't the best. Now we're going to have our first horror phase because we finally have a horror in play. So it just moves 1 step closer to all of our characters, which is that. And then we still have to flip a card. If there's another horror card now, it would move again. But it's a flood. So any area that hasn't flooded already, or if our characters were on a flooded area, what he loses a health point. It's getting rough. All right, bodyguard. Move 1, 2. Move 1, 2. Got to try and get to that horror before it exhausts all of our characters. Scout. Gonna try and put a rope. My God. My cavers are having a lot of bad luck. Leader has to move here. +1, thankfully, so she succeeds. Now, should she heal the doctor by exerting herself, or should she move off? Let's try and heal the doctor. I'm taking a lot of risks here. Ooh, another 3, +1. Yes, it works. So our doctor is back, which is great, because now it's his turn. And for him, I'm just going to make him heal himself. Now, this is a bit chancy because, of course, in the horror round, the horror moves 1 closer to us. If I would flip a horror card, it would move on to this tile and exhaust these characters immediately. Fingers crossed. I'm like, yay, a cave-in. 3. Over here. Not so bad. If there was a positive hazard, it was that one. I think I'm going to heal my bodyguard. Then I'm going to try to exert him so he can move. 5, 1, 2. I don't want to get him too close to the horror because then he could also get exhausted. And if he's exhausted, it's going to be a lot more challenging to get rid of this. Scout is going to try to make that rope appear or else everyone else is stuck. 6. So now we can move off of this tile. Leader, and then move 1, and then explore. Let's make the end here since I have no more table left. And then our medic is going to move 1, 2, and then let's reveal over here. Ooh, flood. So we have to make our way to the bottom of this stack before we're getting close to the exit. So there's still a lot of exploration left. I might have to readjust this map again. I'm actually gonna shove it all up. Top corner of the map isn't as important anymore since we're not going to be exploring around that area. All of my characters are now down here, so shifting it up a bit, having a bit more space here, is probably the smart move. Now we're back to our horror phase. It moves 1. Tremor. Everybody's got a roll. Bodyguard's good. Scout's good. Leader is not good. And medic. Medic is not good either. My bodyguard is now going to take a chance, move 2, and try and exert himself to repel this horror.
Yay!
Horror, go bye-bye. Whew. That was actually pretty tense. Now Scout's turn. I think Scout should heal. Leader's turn. Leader's going to heal. Medic's turn. Actually, leader's going to heal medic, and then my medic's going to heal leader twice. There we go. All right. Feeling pretty confident moving forward that I think I might be able to get these people out of this cave. Ooh. Another horror right there. Not bad, not bad. So he's going to move 1 and roll this die. And then he's going to repel, get rid of that sucker. Scout's going to move 1, 2, and explore. Oh my gosh. Leader's going to explore in this direction. Let's get her off of this tile. Explore this way. Medic's going to move here. And then explore down this way. Not bad. Some safe tiles. And since we got rid of that horror, we just skip over to the next hazard. It's a gas hazard. So let's put this here to remind us. So all these gas tiles will now damage our characters if we move on to them. Bodyguard, 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's join the medic. Because then we could heal our bodyguard. Scout. She slid down this slide, so she can't move back in the other direction unless she uses the rope, but she could keep moving forward. And other people can come into this tile and move forward too, as long as they don't have to go back. If she hits a dead end, we'll have to put a rope there. Explore. And let's explore. Oof. So it's kind of a dead end. She'll need a rope there to move forward. Leader's going to explore. My gosh. Let's shift this all up one more time. She's stuck there. She'll have to actually roll next time to see if she can get a rope, or that's another dead end. And back to our medic. Yeah, let's heal our bodyguard. Twice. All right, so we're past the gas hazard. We're on to another tremor. Everybody gets to roll. Bodyguard loses a health. Scout loses a health. Leader loses a health. And medic loses a health. My gosh. That's a bad tremor. So let's hit our bodyguard. Bodyguard, heal the medic. Scout, move back and explore. Another slide. Leader, let's head back this way. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's dangerous, but we're gonna do it. Let's heal our bodyguard 1, and then let's reveal a tile. All right, crossroads. Out. Oh, another tremor. Bodyguard's fine. Scout is exhausted. Alright, medic's fine. So, I was going to send my medic to find Scout. Bodyguard. Move. Explore. Scout's done. Leader. Reveal up here. Yeah, move down here. 1, 2. Medic. So he's going to sprint. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then heal. Scout. So she's back. Gas. So we got our gas pockets that are dangerous now. Head back to our bodyguard. I'm going to move these cards here. Just give us a bit more space. He's going to explore. And he's going to explore. Scout. The battery in my main camera just died, so I'm not too sure if it might have missed a couple moves from that angle, but we got it in the camera, the angle above. And so we are on to Scout. I'm going to have her reveal. One thing I forgot about Scout is that she could replace map tiles. She's a pathfinder, so 3 times throughout the game, if she doesn't like a tile she reveals, she can replace it. And it's a smart way to actually go through the tiles faster too, and I had forgotten about it. But I don't want this horror tile, so I'm going to flip another one. But the next one I'm going to have to take. Okay. She moves on to that. And let's reveal the next one. And I didn't explore, I just revealed it, so I don't have to move on to it, thankfully. That's good. Though I guess I should have, maybe I'll pathfind it again. Then I don't know what's coming out. No, I'll leave it. Now our leader is down here. I think she should heal, just in case. Now we're on to our medic. He's going to move 1 and then heal Scout. And let's head back to our hazard phase. And it's a flood. Of course it's a flood. And then all of these areas become flooded. Lovely. Back to the bodyguard. Explore. Gas pocket. Shift up. Explore again. Dead end horror. Oof. Scout. She's going to heal herself. Leader. She's going to explore. Dead end. She's just going to move back. And then medic is going to heal himself. Now let's flip this. A horror. And our bodyguard is exhausted. This is not good. He's done. He has to be healed. Though there's a horror in the way now and there's no one to be able to defeat it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Whew. All right, Scout. Let's move 1. And let's explore off of that tile. Leader. Let's just reveal to get rid of a tile. And then we're going to move to our other party. We may be sacrificing our bodyguard. It's horrible. Medic. 1, 2. And let's reveal. Horror phase. Moving. If our characters move 7 tiles away from the horror, it actually gets removed from the table, which is pretty good. Bodyguard's down. Back to Scout. Let's reveal. I should have explored. And we'll just move here. Leader, she's gonna swim, so that's gonna cost her 2. Medic, he's gonna move and explore. Oh my gosh. Gas pocket. Horror, it's gonna move 1. Cave in. 3. We have a cave in here. We have a cave in here. We have a cave in here. Of course we do. All right. Bodyguard, scout. Let us explore. That was pretty good. Let us explore again. That was pretty good too. We're going to move 1, and then we're going to have to wait to swim the next turn. Medic, explore. Explore. I get the feeling our exit's going to be around here, so I got to bring my leader to that area. Horror, 1. And bodyguard's not going to make it out alive. Sorry, buddy. Scout is going to explore. Scout is going to explore. Yay. I'll put it here. Scout has made it to the exit. Leader, 2 to swim. Medic, let's move you forward and then explore. Hopefully it'll connect. Oh my God, it's a dead end. So he's gonna have to make his way all the way here to get to the exit, which is doable, but not the best. So now our horror moves. We flip, and of course it's a flood. Leader loses an energy. This area here would be flooded, but it's behind us. All right, we're gonna get there. She's good. Leader, you're gonna move 1. Gonna have to wait till your next turn. Medic, can we sprint? Sprint. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then spend. Oh no, that was a 1. Now we gotta wait. Horror. Gas. We have 1 card left, which is our out of time card. When we flip that, what it means is that each time we want to actually make an action, we have to roll a skill test. If we fail, we get eaten by a horror. So far, Scout has made it to the exit, but our other 2 cavers might not make it. We know the bodyguard's out of commission. Leader, she's going to spend 2 to swim. Let's go to Medic. He's going to spend 2 to dig. That's that. Horror moves 1. And we flip our last card, out of time. So let's see if anyone else survives. Leader. Medic. Medic's going to sprint. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then Medic's going to move. 1, 2. It was pretty rough. We lost 2 cavers, but 2 survived. 2 is better than none. Not as good as 4. It's quite a tense game, I must say. You do kind of feel it as the horrors show up and they start to move throughout the game. When you're rolling those skill tests and failing and your characters are losing health quickly, whether it's a cave-in, a tremor, or an active gas pocket, the hazards are not fun. But the game itself is quite enjoyable. I played it 5 times. I even played it with Abby once. She got extremely stressed out because we had to sacrifice 2 cavers. In this one, I had no choice really, but in that game, we had to sacrifice 2 players in order to make it out alive. As you can see, because you're revealing map tiles, every game is going to be different and unique. There's also different difficulty levels. So we played on normal, there's hard and expert, and depending on which one you choose, there's different rules. There's also some worse hazard cards in the box. There's also expansions you could get that add even more horrible things that could possibly happen to you. I think some of them also, one of them adds items, so you could find items throughout the game that could be helpful to you. So as much as there's horrible things that are introduced, there's also some helpful things that will be introduced. But there you have it, a solo playthrough of Sub Terra. You have 4 characters that you have to play. Thankfully, because only 2 of them made it out alive. Once you make your way through a round or 2, the rules are pretty easy to understand, and then the game starts to move pretty quick. It's about an hour. This one was just under that. And as you can see, not everybody's going to survive. You might have an unhappy ending in this game. I'm sorry that the bodyguard and the leader were left behind, and they will be mourned, but so it goes in Sub Terra. 2 people survive. That's pretty good. I hope you enjoyed this solo playthrough. I'm sure I made some mistakes along the way, so if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you around next time. Take it easy.